Well, welcome back to the Piney Woods Homestead, y'all. Another day, another cloudy day, another cold day. Man, it feels like snow, but all we keep getting is rain. Although Lisa just told me there's a chance of a white Christmas here. I think she tells me that every year because she's always hopeful that we'll have some snow, about a foot around Christmas. And I think maybe it happened once when we were kids. But anyways, today we're going to clean up this barbecue offset smoker. Got to get it ready for the barbecue event that we're going to do next weekend, and hopefully bless some folks with some free barbecue, a free supper, and a whole lot of barbecue for us to vacuum seal and put in the freezer. But first we're going to go down here and check on the love bug duo, Samson and Dixie. Y'all, it's about time for them to breed. She should be coming into heat. I believe she is. We checked her yesterday. Lisa said it appeared that she was. And it does appear that she is, but she's not standing yet. So shouldn't be much longer, but we're gonna check on those guys real quick and then get to some nasty work. Kind of a dirty job. Guys, thanks for stopping in. Hit the old like and subscribe if you hadn't, and if you have, as always, we appreciate you. Guys, how much longer are we gonna have to wait here? I hate to get down here and get too close and you hit the fence on my account. But y'all, you can tell that Samson has been rubbing all over Dixie's flanks with his nose, trying to get her to be receptive. And y'all, it's a mess. We've had a bunch of rain. This is a big hog lot that he's got, but y'all, they've got bulldozers on the front of their heads, and they like to root. And they're actually rooting up some dry dirt, so that's good. But it should be any time now. Anytime, Samson. Anytime, buddy. All right, we'll leave these two at it. Y'all, I'm gonna go up here. It's cold, got some old clothes on. I don't mind getting dirty because this is gonna be a dirty job. This cooker that I got from my brother, it hadn't been used in a couple of years and it hadn't been cleaned, I don't think, since, not really thoroughly, since the last cooking he was telling me. So that means pressure washing in 40-degree weather. It ain't no fun, y'all. It's gonna be a dirty job. There's a lot of grease that's gotta come out. There's no telling what I'm gonna find up in there, but I'm gonna put this thing on a little bit of a hyperdrive and give you guys a bird's eye look as I clean it up. And after I've cleaned it up, I'll show the thing off a little bit better to you. Y'all, this thing is quite the job to clean, and I gotta correct myself. I believe it was actually cooked with about a year ago. It's been cooked with at 2 weddings over the past few years, but just gotta get it clean. If you don't clean them well, then your barbecue is not gonna taste good. And so we're getting it cleaned up real good because I want to send it back to my brother in tip-top shape, because he's had a lot going on and hadn't been able to even use the cooker for a while. So he'll be able to use it when I get done with it, and I think hopefully he'll be happy with the job that I'm getting done here. And I'm just grateful he's letting us use it to cook this pig, because it is really hard cooking them on the ground if you're not in tip-top shape. Put it that way. But anyways, I'm gonna finish cleaning this thing up and then I'll show you the inner workings of it. Y'all, my oldest brother and I had a motto for our construction business years ago. It was called, "We do it right the first time." And I believe I have done it right the first time on this cooker. And y'all, what I'm talking about, we do it right the first time. All of us boys have always taken pride in the work that we do. And I say boys because that's who I've worked with the most. Mostly my oldest brother. We've always taken pride in the work that we do. And it shows from the time that we were digging ditches, installing septic systems, to footings, to clearing lots, whatever we did, we took pride in it, and that carried on to other businesses, as well as the 15 years that I spent policing. Always took pride in my work. And you don't find that everywhere these days, but I just like taking pride in my work. But this cooker, let's get to that. I'm going to show it off just a little bit. Y'all, it was manufactured by Lang down in, I believe it's Nahunta, Georgia, is where my dad bought this. And I think I was a teenager when he bought it, but on the rear, there's a firebox. So instead of your traditional building a pit on top of the ground, wood burning barrels, shoveling coals under that hog, we've got a firebox back here. It takes maybe a third of the amount of wood to do it this way. It's just so efficient. You just get you a fire in there, and I try to Cadillac this thing along at about 225 degrees and keep my smoke to a minimum by working the doors, keeping them open a little bit further, and you end up with a really good barbecue product. But so it's got a firebox, and it's kind of dark up in there, but there's a big tunnel, and the smoke and the heat will actually travel up underneath the pig. No flame will ever touch the pig. There's a drip pan that's manufactured into this thing with a channel, and that channel runs all that hot grease from where the pig's dripping out to a spigot down there at the bottom, and you put a pan under there to collect that grease so you're not just making a mess. But I've got the grates. It's got two cooking surfaces, one lower, one upper. I'm probably going to leave the top grate out and just use the bottom, because it's hard fitting a whole pig on these things unless you trim a little bit off of the shanks as you're doing it. So I'm going to see how it plays out. I may have to split the pig totally. And another thing that I like about this cooker is normally on the ground, we'll start that pig on its stomach and we'll let it slow drip. That lets you know you're cooking it low and slow. And then towards the end, when the hams are nice and hot to the back of your hand, we'll flip that pig over, crisp up the skin. But on this, there's no flipping to do. So we'll actually start the pig out on its back, and it'll cook the entirety that way, which is fine because every bit of fat that's in there is going to stay trapped by that skin and make this pork just extra succulent. But y'all, back to the flame. The flame will go up underneath this drip tray and the smoke and the heat, and back up to the front and come across the top of your meat and out this stack right here. It'll stink up the whole community, y'all. We've got houses close by. They'll smell it if the wind's blowing the right way, but it does a really good job. And I've probably cooked on this thing, other than my dad, probably the most of anybody. I've had as much as 350 pounds of pork shoulders on this thing doing church functions in the past, and I actually went and barbecued some stuff for a wedding one time, I think it was, or a family reunion or something. I've done a lot of cooking on it, and I enjoy cooking on this thing. It's pretty easy. You can walk away for a little while, come back to it, as long as you got your heat, your temp dialed in. It works out pretty good. But I'm gonna get the grates in this thing, and y'all, we're going to do a burnout. We're going to go ahead and do a thorough cleaning, and that involves not just all this pressure washing and scraping out old sediment that was in here, but we're actually going to get a fire going. I'll get it up to probably about 350 degrees and let everything dry really thoroughly, and then we're going to spritz it with olive oil, and that is going to help re-season all of these grates that I have just pressure washed the pee-pee out of. Told y'all I like fire. All right, so now what I've got to do is I'll get these lids shut. I'm just going to let that fire get going pretty good first, and then I'll shut these off. We'll dry everything out, get it up to about 350, spritz it with some olive oil, and that's going to take care of re-seasoning any bare metal that I got down to, and get this thing ready for cooking that pig, y'all. right, y'all, I'm gonna wrap this thing up right here. It's gonna take me a little bit to get this thing up to temp so that I can dry everything out well inside the cooking chamber and get that olive oil spritz on there to re-season these grates. But y'all, back to doing it right the first time, taking pride in your work. Y'all take pride in your work. Whether you're working for yourself or somebody else, take pride in it. Because I was always taught we're to do our work as if we're doing it for the Lord. And that will give you the right frame of mind to do it right the first time. And hey, if you live close to us, have excavator, we'll travel. I can dig it, I can push it over, I can clear it. Anyways, guys, y'all have a good day and a great week. The next video you see is going to be more than likely scalding a pig. We'll see you on the next one.